This video is intended to demonstrate the proper and safe operations and maintenance of the Wintech DW series electric deck winch. Always operate, inspect, and maintain this winch in accordance with Wintech's operation and maintenance manual, supplied with every winch, as well as American National Standards Institute Safety Code, ANSI B30.7, and any other applicable safety codes and regulations. Only allow personnel trained in the safety and operation of this winch to operate this product. To operate the winch, a reversing starter must be used to supply power to motor and to control direction. The Wintech standard deck winch control panel is used for this video. To pull in the cable, press the pull-in button on the control panel. Power is supplied to the winch motor. The motor brake releases and the motor turns the winch drum to pull in the cable. Maintain tension in the rope when spooling in to keep drum spooling evenly. When the button is released, power is removed from the motor and the motor brake engages, holding the load. To pay out the cable, press the pay out button on the control panel. Power is supplied to the winch motor. The motor brake releases and the motor turns the winch drum to pay out the cable. Be sure to have the holding dog in the disengaged position before trying to pay out the winch. Maintain tension in the rope when spooling out to keep drum spooling evenly. When the button is released, power is removed from the motor and the motor brake engages, holding the load. Discontinue winch operation anytime it is suspected that the motor holding brake is not holding or releasing properly. The primary holding brake for this winch is a spring-applied electric release motor brake. The brake is located on the back of the electric motor, away from the gearbox. The DW winch utilizes an IP66 sealed brake for the operation in the toughest environments. Also, this brake requires no air gap adjustment, so maintenance is much simpler and user-friendly. When the winch is supplied power from the motor starter, power is also sent to the brake coil through the brake rectifier. This energizes the coil to release the brake. When power operation is stopped and power removed, the brake is automatically applied by springs, which prevents the motor from turning and allows winch to hold the load. Note when the brake releases or engages, you should hear a clank as heard in the video. The motor brake is applied with a hand-operated manual release mechanism to allow the operator to release the brake without energizing the motor. To manually release the motor brake, pull the release lever toward the back end of the motor. Rotate the locking stop towards the lever to lock the brake in the release position. Note that when releasing the brake with the manual hand lever, there is only 1/4 to 1/2 movement to fully release the brake. Pulling too hard on the lever could cause damage to the lever and the brake. The locking stop might need to be adjusted to keep the brake fully released. Using a crescent wrench and 1/2-inch open-end wrench, loosen the jam nut on the lock stop. Turn the locking stop bolt to either lengthen or shorten the lock stop. Once set to the correct length, tighten the jam nut to secure length setting. To set the brake back into the engaged position, pull the release lever toward the back end of the motor. Turn the locking stop down away from level to unlock the brake in the release position. Release the lever to allow the brake to engage. The Wintech DW series winch is equipped with a manually operated holding dog. The holding dog is operated with the holding dog lever that extends through the winch side frame. The holding dog and ratchet wheel are located safely inside the winch with a window provided to see the dog's status. Another safety feature is the emergency release rod, which can be used to either locking the dog in the disengaged position or helping disengage the dog in the event of power loss. To engage the holding dog, first unlock the dog by twisting flange nut to the top of the emergency release rod. This allows the holding dog to fully engage into ratchet wheel. Rotate the dog handle from the disengaged position to the engaged position. To disengage the holding dog, rotate the dog handle from the engaged position to the disengaged position. To lock out the holding dog, first ensure that the dog lever is in the disengaged position. Twist the flange nut on the emergency release rod to lower the flange nut against the top frame. Continue to twist to lift the holding dog up against the top frame. In this configuration, the dog will remain disengaged regardless of the position of the dog lever. In the case of a loss of power, the holding dog can be released manually using the emergency release rod. First, ensure that the dog lever is in the disengaged position. Twist the flange nut on the emergency release rod to lower the flange nut against the top frame. Using an open-end wrench, tighten the flange nut until the dog pulls up out of the ratchet wheel and the load is released. In the event of a power loss, the DW winch can be operated manually. First, remove the top guard by unlatching the two rubber latches that secure the top guard to the winch. Using the handles provided in the top guard, lift the guard up and off of the winch. Set aside in a safe location. Next, remove the manual operation stud from its storage position on the side frame using a 1 1/8 inch socket and wrench. Insert the manual operation stud into the threaded hole on one end of the drive shaft. Tighten the manual operation stud until the shoulder is secure against the end of the drive shaft. Release the motor brake by pulling the release lever towards the back of the motor. Rotate the locking stop up towards the release lever to lock the brake in the released position. With the brake now in released position, the winch can be manually operated by turning the manual operation stud with the 1 1/8 inch socket and wrench. Do not attempt to manually operate the winch with power tools or impact wrenches. Make sure to put the winch back into its original state before resuming power operation. Thank you for watching this DW Series winch operation and maintenance video. For any more information, or if you have any questions, please contact Wintech and we will be more than happy to help.